Wherever you look, today's crypto markets facing a significant downturn. Bitcoin and Ethereum seeing sharp declines as analysts now predict continued volatility, but hold on to hopes for a rebound by 2026 or 2027. For more, let's head to the States. We're joined by Oz Sultan, Sultan Interactive Group. What is going on here?
So Josh Mandel and Mike Alfred have been talking about this for a while, and Josh was talking about the fact that 84,000 is sort of like the next pressure point that we needed to hit. And that was hit this morning. The market is experiencing a 5 to 6% slip. Ethereum lost an additional about 7%, and market cap fell by 5.2%, nearing about 3 trillion. With about $600 million in liquidations. So what we're seeing is that the bears are being bearish in a bear market. That bull cycle that we're hoping for before the end of the year may be something that holds off until January.
This was meant to be crypto's year. The Trump administration were involved. There's a Trump currency. What has happened?
I mean, I would take a look at Michael Turpin's, the Bitcoin hype cycle. And I would look at the fact that, we are approaching a number of things coming up. You've got market pressures that are cyclical, that are downtrending. At the same point in time, we've had massive sell-offs and movements from, older wallets. Like the whales came out in sort of the last drop to about 90 and they liquidated. We had a ton of, option positions that were also liquidated, and now we're seeing, I think, just the bottom end of that market. I think 84,000 is the floor. Hopefully it's not too much lower than that, but I do think that we should start seeing some additional market action in the coming days, possibly buoying it up to the 90, 92 mark, but we're going to have to wait and see how this plays out over the course of the next week.
So Bitcoin and Ethereum specifically impacted by this. Would you call it a crash?
I would call this another correction, and I would call this probably the most significant of the corrections that we've had, because this is pushing us towards the floor. Anytime that we can actually get to the floor, a rebound is imminent from there. I will tell you that this has wreaked havoc on a number of the alts. So no alt season for you. No October, and a lot of wringing hands over portfolios today.
What does the current market cap of the crypto industry indicate about its health? I mean, you talk about a correction. I can't think of many markets that drop this significantly and this often.
Well, you have to think about this in totality. This isn't much more of a major market correction than what we had on a black swan day inside of the stock market. Over the course of a couple of weeks here, we've seen multiple, somewhere between 4 to 5% corrections, for a total correction somewhere in about the 18% range. But again, we're still not significantly off of our ATH, which was, pushing 120-ish. We're within range, I would say. And when I talk to a bunch of my buddies that are traders, you also listen to Alred, you look at some of the other folks that are out there, Matty Greenspan from Quantum Economics, we're within that pressure category where uplift is bound to happen. Now, massive sell-offs, additional massive options positions, that kind of a thing, that can wreak havoc in markets. But I think we are pretty close to the bottom, if not at the bottom at this juncture.
All right, interesting to see. What advice would you give investors during a period of volatility? I mean, if you're saying we're at the bottom, that's generally when it's a good time to buy.
I think right now, and again, this is not financial advice, I think now is probably the best time to get the cheapest Bitcoin that you're going to get inside of the next 2 years.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're hearing about this prediction of a potential rebound next year, 2027 as well. How significant will the rebound be, do you think? Because obviously crypto has been going on this journey of drops and troughs and up and down for years now. Do you think it will recoup its losses and make some more?
I think so. I mean, ISO 20022 just went into effect on the 22nd of November. That takes SWIFT and starts retiring it. That also moves cross-border currency transactions into 8 authorized cryptocurrencies, right? So now all of a sudden the market's shifting, the market's changing. Bitcoin starts going back to becoming a reserve currency. Your breadbasket of authorized ISO 20022 currencies start moving with the market in this big market shift. Crypto's here to stay. It's wired into the financial system. You've got the DTCC using it. You've got all your major houses using it. It's now that trickle down to market economics of getting this into households and how long that's going to take. That adoption could be as long as the internet. It could take 4 or 5 years. But I think that in terms of where the volatility is, this is less volatile than when we were at 76,000, and it's far less volatile than when we were at 30,000.
All right. Now, the People's Bank of China intensifying its crackdown on cryptocurrency, raising serious concerns about stablecoins, causing significant declines in Hong Kong's crypto stocks as well. Oz, what specific measures is the PBOC implementing for, I guess, what is a renewed crypto crackdown?
Well, it's interesting because, of all of the weird things that go on in crypto, China still has a large plethora of Bitcoin miners who are selling off market with discounts, right? And I think what China is going after is they're trying to understand something around crypto in view of the issues that they have with cross-border fraud, cross-border terrorism, cross-border financial transactions that they themselves may not authorize or be able to track through their e-yuan system. And then this burgeoning sort of axis that's shaping up in between Russia, North Korea, and China in terms of a financial force to compete with the BRICS, may or may not include Iran. We'll see what happens in the next few months. But the big thing here is virtual currencies compliance and anti-money laundering and speculative activity. What that basically means is that there's probably been way too much speculation in the Chinese market, similar to what happened in the 2016 to 2017 era. And now the government's coming in to crack down because this is affecting small investors. What this is going to yield is questionable in terms of long-term policy. But as of today, all of your crypto-related firms in Hong Kong, including Yunfeng, BrightSmart, and the Commodities Group, as well as OSL, they're all down.
What implications does the stance have, I guess, on stablecoins specifically?
I think it continues to support it. And I think it continues to support the thesis that, look, again, ISO 20022 is replacing SWIFT. At the same point in time, we're going to have a number of stable coins that are going to become household names over the course of the next 2 years. Why? Because instead of going to Western Union and remitting this and having to pay a bunch of fees, you'll now be able to do it inside of these cryptocurrencies, provided that whoever you're sending it to has a wallet and can function with that in their respective domicile. But it also changes the way that we start handling commerce, right? All of your cross-border starts moving into this. Stablecoins then become your new dollar, right? USDT and USDC are really kind of leading the way. We've got some new smaller entrants. World Liberty launched their stable coin. That's Eric Trump's project. You've also got a stable coin coming out of the European Union, not very well used. You've also got a Japanese stable coin and a Chinese stable coin, the e-yuan, also not very used. Everything has really been coming back to dollar-denominated stable coins. And so future forward, I think that's where we're going to be. Big shift, to digital dollars, but more so in the stablecoin arena, and continued speculation on what's going to happen with China as they continue to move forward, move backwards, move forward, move backwards, and it's really just scaring investors off from the mainland.
Yeah, very much. Oz Sultan, always appreciate your insights there. Thank you. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.